Alright, so we first started meeting, we were at Stewart's and I was just walking down the aisle. And I saw her and I was like, man, who's this girl? Looks really cute. I was nervous to say anything, so I was like, man, how I talk to her. And I was kind of scared. I was like, man, what if I go up to her and she's like, oh no, I'm good. Like, I already have a boyfriend now. So I thought she was just out of my league and too good for me. But later on Facebook, she actually messaged me and we started talking. She's like, oh, how was your poison ivy? I happened to have poison ivy that day and it was just like itching me. And so that's how she started off the conversation, and that's pretty much how it went from there.
Okay, well, the first time we met, I was working at Stewart's. I didn't want to work in Brazoria because I was working at Sweeney at the time in Stewart's. But my boss said I had to work in Brazoria, so I was really upset by that. So I wound up going to Brazoria, and I wound up seeing this guy just walking around, stocking the shelves, and all that stuff. I was like, man, he looks really cute, and I was too shy to say anything, and so probably like a couple weeks later, I actually had to train this coworker, and she's really like outspoken, and she just goes for it, and she's like, Brittany, you need to say something to him or something. And so I was like, okay. And so occasionally when he passed by, I'd say hi. I'm extremely shy, so I found him on Facebook and I friended him, and I told my mom, and she was like, oh my gosh, what? you friended him on Facebook? She's like, wow, okay. Because I'm really shy. I normally don't do that. And so then he had poison ivy, and I messaged him, and the only thing I could think of to ask him was how his poison ivy was, to be able to start a conversation.
I took out to eat at IHOP, and we were just eating, had pancakes, she had pancakes and eggs, and then her sisters actually surprised us, and that kind of made me even more nervous because I actually think about asking my girlfriend right there. But I waited afterwards and gave her a necklace that says "You're one in a million." And that's later on. I actually texted her if she'll be my girlfriend, and she said yes.
So yeah, then we kind of started dating, and he asked me to be his girlfriend, and I was so excited because I've never dated anyone before, and because I've always just been waiting for the one. If I don't think I'm gonna marry him, I don't even think about dating him. And so for some reason I just met him. I just felt confident in it, and so I was like, yeah, I think I'll give it a try. And so I just started just asking God if he was the one, and obviously turned out he was. So I told my mom and dad, and we were at my house at the time, and so my mom's like, oh my gosh, yay! And it's like late, it's really late, and so we're like, okay, we need to go tell your sisters before they find out on Facebook. And so we went over to their house, and my dad came also, and my mom, and I told my twin, and she was like, what? He asked you? She's like, oh my gosh, yay! Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for you. And my dad's like, And so then we went to my sister's room, and we're like, Sadie, guess what? She's like, what? Jacob asked me to be his girlfriend. And we're like, what? And so all of me and my sisters and my mom were just like eking out. We're like, oh my gosh! And my dad's like, oh my gosh. It's like girls. It's like, So yeah, I was really excited that he asked me to be his girlfriend.
we were actually having a dinner at her house, and we were just eating out, just having fun. And actually, I was outside and I was painting these pictures for our 7th-month anniversary. And I was actually going to propose to her the next day, but her mom actually came to me. He's like, you know, her family's here, her sister's down for the weekend, because her sister was living up in San Antonio for a little bit. I was like, all right, I'll do it today. So I went to Mr. Luz's house to ask him if I could marry his daughter. And at this point, I was super nervous, as any guy would be at this point. So I thought of all the ways it could go wrong. I didn't know if he was going to accept me or if he was going to try to fight me. So the whole time, I was prepared for the worst. But fortunately, that didn't happen. He's like, all right, and he just started talking about how it's being a man, it's being responsible, and just providing for her. And I was like, okay, I'm willing to live up to that. And so I got his permission to marry her.
Okay, so like whenever I was thinking of how I wanted him to propose to me was like sweet romantic dinner or something, or you know, something with just the two of us. And you know, at the same time, I would want my family there, but you never know. And so I had a feeling I'm really good at guessing stuff. So whenever I saw him walk in the house, he had this humongous smile, and I was like, what is that smile for? You know, why are you smiling like that? And he was like, oh, Dad, I'm just happy. And so I was like, you know what? I was like, he's gonna propose tomorrow, because it was our 6th-month anniversary. And so I was like, he's gonna propose tomorrow. And he was just so excited. And so we all walk outside, all my family's around, and he comes in, he's like, babe, I want to talk to you real quick.
And she kind of gave me a look like, really, right now? And I was like, yeah, right now. And so I picked her hand up, and I was like, all right. And I had to wring my hand.
And he pulls me over, and he kneels down, and I'm like, what? Now? Like, what?
And she was all surprised, and I was like, will you marry me? And she's just like, oh my gosh, and her hands over her mouth, like, oh. And I was like, I love you. And then she's like, yes, I marry you.
So I'm like trying to take my glasses off so he can see my eyes, and you know, and so I take my purity ring off and then put the engagement ring on, and I was just so excited, and I just started crying, and my family was like, oh my gosh, yay, clapping and everything, and people were videotaping and crying, and then my Aunt Shay goes in the background, she's like, now you can say he's your fiance. I'm like, oh my gosh, and my mom's just so excited, and it was a really happy time, and I couldn't have asked for a better proposal. It was perfect, and God knew what I wanted and how it happened, so I loved it.
Heart beats fast, colors and promises, how to be brave. How can I love when I'm afraid to fall? But watching you stand alone, all of my doubt.
Yes, I'm recording right now.
Y'all gonna make me cry. Yeah, I'm fine.
Shame on y'all for not giving me a
That's why we're all so like came out here all at once. We're like kind of like trying to see.
He's not crying because yeah, I'm crying because of my
Congratulations!